Basically, three things that I didn't want. I didn't like the guys from IIT. Guys, do check out girls quite a bit because they don't have enough girls in IIT. I was not too fond of mustache. I did not want to go to the States after marriage because we had just watched Pardes. As destiny calls it, I had all three in Akhilesh. Akhilesh and I met in December of 1999 and we got married in 14th April 2000. In 1999, I had just turned 23 in November. I had graduated from college. I took up this entrance exam for CDAC, which was supposed to be a pretty competitive exam. So I prepared for it. I did pretty well and did a rigorous course for 6 months, no sleep. But I had big dreams. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to start earning, move into an apartment, get a cell phone, buy a car. Long term, I hadn't quite thought through that.
काफ़ी exciting period था. We were young. First job right out of college. I headed to Chennai. मद्रास बोलते थे उस टाइम पे. और वहीं पे नौकरी करते करते मिल गया offer US आने का.
I had really good friends. Oh my gosh, we had so much time at hand. I can say that, because our Sundays used to be pretty much laying down in bed, doing the laundry, just kind of dreaming, talking. My roommate, she was from Kashmir, so obviously she was very pretty. She is very pretty. So, a lot of guys would want to reach out to her and just to be friends with her. And so knowing that she was my best friend and my roommate, they would approach me and I would go out and say, hey, you got to treat me with some McDonald's, chocolates, anything I would take from them. And then I would just go back to my room and say, hey, Radhi, can you please say hello to this guy if he says hello to you? Because, I took bribe.
2-3 साल में every time I go to India, मम्मी पापा दोनों जो है शादी के लिए नज करने लगे और थोड़ा प्रेशराइज भी करने लगे कि अब तो सब कुछ हो गया, पढ़ाई भी हो गई, नौकरी भी हो गई और शादी कर लो.
And then
नमस्कार. My younger sister नीलम जो है वो काफ़ी भैया ये कर लो, भैया वो कर लो, भैया इसको देख मिल लो. उस टाइम पे उस यंग एज पे I was still too much focused towards building a career, building life in the new country. So marriage was like a side thought.
Mama and Papa had already started to look out, for a prospect for me. So those discussions used to annoy me because I don't think I was ready for it. I've always been attracted to very smart, intellectual kind of boys who can strike a very intellectual conversation.
Well educated, good looking, very easy going, talking, very easy to talk to, beautiful, charming.
I was never a huge fan of chocolate-y kind of boys.
At that time there was an anchor, Sonu Nigam, on TV program, a lovely boy. बस मेरा मन सोचता था दिखने में ऐसा ही हो, मेरा सपनों का जवाई राजा.
Papa had sent me the picture and the biodata. So I finally popped up this picture in my work monitor, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, another guy. Anyways, so I just closed the email. Papa just suddenly showed up at my work, and then he was like, I'm like, what, you're in India? And he was like, yeah, let's just go. We've got to meet this guy in Dehradun, and we are flying out tomorrow.
लेकिन मानिए इसको कंफर्ट देने के लिए बिजनेस क्लास से हम लोग बॉम्बे टू दिल्ली फ्लाई की, वहाँ से बस पकड़ी, बस पकड़ के देहरादून पहुँच गए.
very nervous because my Babaji was there, my brother was there, my Chachaji was there, my Bua came, so it was the entire clan. As he was entering, my Bua was looking from the window and she was like, "Oh my gosh, the guy looks so good." And I was like trying to peek over her, trying to see, try to get a glimpse.
अखिलेश के घर पे गए, अखिलेश को देखा तो मैं तो देखते ही रह गया, इतना सुंदर लड़का। हमने कहा यार लड़का तो यही सही है, लड़का तो सही है।
But I entered the room with the chai and I gave chai around, which is, I guess, cliche, but that's the way it is. They said, okay, you guys can talk to each other. So we moved to another room. So there were like 4 or 5 kids around us, and we literally spoke to each other for 10 minutes.
We had met only for 10 minutes, so it was not a emotional connection or anything else. But लगाने की जो है हम लोग एक totally stranger की तरह मिल रहे हैं. The first impression was too great to just back out of.
Yeah, whatever happens, I mean, I'm very pleased to meet all of you.
Papa was asking me about what I have done, and I asked him, what have you done? I think everybody in the family, it just clicked.
I still remember I offered him a cigarette and just wanted to know that he smokes or not, and he refused and he said, "Aap continue kariye." So it was very funny. I found him very decent.
बड़ी जिया जी ने और छोटे जिया जी ने दोनों ने बोला था कि अखिलेश वैसे इससे बढ़िया कोई लड़की मिलेगी नहीं तुम्हें.
She was looking beautiful, innocent, and yet so confident. She wasn't talking much. She was having a gentle smile on her face and a very calm and positive aura around her. Within 10, 15, 20 minutes after she entered the room, I looked at Bayan and he looked at me, and I was kind of say thumbs up and for the very first impression we had.
Arranged marriages in India is more about the entire family coming to an agreement than just the guy and the girl.
The whole family was so passionate, so nice that we never felt. हमें ये लगा कि ये हम में से एक है.
My dad in particular was very, very pleased. He has been a self-made man, and that's what he wanted for me. So Akhilesh was very cordial, very polite, of course, good looking. I didn't see a reason why I would say no.
And I couldn't find any reason to say no.
Marriage is a gamble. I didn't put a lot of thought into it, for sure. Supposedly a casual meeting, it turned out to be an engagement. So we did get engaged on 15th of December. Nobody knew about it back in Mumbai, so when I went back, it came as a shock to my friends. Most of them were very upset because they knew that I would be moving out. Also the fact, I think the instant reaction was, the guy's a little older. I was sad because I quit my job and I was upset. I cried because I had put in a lot of efforts to get that job, and I decided to go back to Doha and be with my parents because that would be my only opportunity to be with them before I get married. I mean, as much as I guess eventually it all settled down and my friends were happy, there were a lot of tears. I definitely would credit Akhilesh for that. He did invest a lot into making sure that I was comfortable before we got married. So he would call me every day. Poor guy, he spent a lot of money. Back then to call Doha from US was $1.25 per minute. And we talked for straight 6-7 hours at times. And you can do the math.
The number of minutes we used to be on the call started increasing, and कई बार तो 1-1.5 घंटे कभी 2 घंटे भी हो जाता था.
And Akhilesh would write me letters. He would write me emails every day, and I would take a printout. I would read them. I would reread them.
Interesting personality लगी हमें तो. She has been in multiple countries. A dancer in school and college. She had been in engineering field. Very energetic personality.
He brought me to a point in 4 months of our courtship where I started to feel like comfortable, and I was looking forward to seeing him in person.
Nobody had experience ki what to say on these calls, what not to say in these calls. So we were just totally our own.
Valentine's Day happened in between, and Akhilesh sent me a card, had like these cute little red hearts, small hearts. And when I opened, I didn't know what's in there, and it spilled all over on the carpet. And my mom would say later that for months, if not years, she would still find a heart here and there. And then my mom would be like, "Can you show me what a Valentine card looks like?" You know, because I never got one. And we kind of had this our own fantasy little cute little world, and it was very dreamy. I think that was the best part of our relationship, the courtship period. As the wedding started to approach, as the date started to approach, my stuff was getting separated out. It was like Guddan ka bag, Guddan ka ye, Guddan ka wo. My mom would always tell me, this is going to be your new family. You have to prioritize them. Make sure that's your first family now, but your mom and dad are there. That was unsettling.
Just 2 days before our marriage, Bhaiya and I teamed up, and he had to have a date with Shubha. So we told some story, stepped out of house, and they both met for a couple of hours in her Buaji's place, and I was very excited and happy about it that I could support him.
I was the first child of the next generation to get married, so it was a house full.
I was the last one to get married in the family.
On the day of the marriage, I went to the salon. There was no power, so she literally did my makeup in a emergency light. I think she did a horrible job of my makeup. Typically, they do try to make you white. I don't know for what reason. When you are in that complete, outfit, my mom and dad teared up.
When Shubha came from parlor in bridal costume and makeup, hugged me, "Mama, मैं कैसी लग रही हूँ?" Seeing my little baby in bridal costume, I became emotional, and my eyes were filled with joy of tears.
My happiness was basically a reflection of the happiness of people around me.
One thing I remember very vividly is I was sleeping, and हमारे sister की जो सास है, जो आंटी जी, उन्होंने उठाया, अखिलेश क्या बेवकूफ़ की तरह सो रहा है, यहाँ पे देखो शुभा डांस कर रही है. And I got up and I saw her dancing on one of her favorite dance.
Badi Amma was keeping a strict eye on me because I was like all happy and excited to see everyone. She was like, "Haso mat zyada, जोर जोर से खिकी मत करो, चुपचाप बैठो, धीरे धीरे चलो, तेज तेज मत चलो." And here I was like so happy to see Nidhu or Munmun and all my cousins. And for my wedding, it was everybody there, I think, except for my brother, which is probably the saddest part of my wedding. I cried at my fairas when my Masi's son, my cousin brother, he did the ceremony that my brother was supposed to do. I really missed my brother then, and unfortunately he couldn't join us because he was on student visa in St. Petersburg.
Finally, मम्मी जो है अभी है नहीं दुनिया में, लेकिन वो शुभा से वैसे खुश भी थी काफ़ी, और वो फ़ोटो लेके घूमती रहती थी, अपने सारी सहेलियों को दिखाना और फैमिलीज़ को दिखाना. शी वॉज वेरी इमोशनल एंड वेरी एक्साइटेड, और उनको सारे रीति रिवाज करना है अपने ट्रेडिशनल हिंदू फैमिली की तरफ से. Lot of things which were beyond my understanding, but I went with her because looking at her happiness, I just followed her whatever she wanted me to do.
I got a very good welcome at Akhilesh's house. Ahana was standing at the doorstep. I still remember. She was probably like 3 years old, and I thought she was so cute. The house is full of kids. I have had one sibling, so that was one of the factors that I really liked about Akhilesh's family. Was his family was big. There were 5 siblings: Sonu, Monu, Guddan, Lavi, Chavi, Akshita, Ahana. Then the kids were singing a song, and I can't remember the song exactly, but
मामी उठी उठ के चली बस में चढ़ी सीट ना मिली
फूलों ने कहा आजा मेरे पास and something something something.
रोने लगी मामा ने कहा आजा मेरे पास मामी बोली हट बदमाश
I was landing in Delhi along with someone. Every time I landed alone. That time used to be whole different. I mean, you are in a whole different world.
it takes time in an arranged marriage, especially because you don't know the person as much. So I would try to read his face, and Akhilesh, always being an introvert, it was even harder to understand because he was always this quiet person, But for the first time in my life, I had so much time on hand, because I've always been either a student or studying or working. So I was like, what do I do with my time? And I had planned a life a certain way, but as the saying goes, man proposes, God disposes. And as then I turn around and look at life, I wouldn't have it otherwise.
I don't think I had planned what I'm going to be doing in 25 years, or where I'm going to be, what I will be doing, what kids I'm going to have. Life sometimes have to be taken one day at a time.
ओ सजनी रे कैसे कटे दिन रात कैसे हो तुझसे बात तेरी याद सतावे रे
And we are celebrating.
Bye bye, tata,
Bye bye.
tata,
Bye bye.